My name's Alan. I'm from Swansea Quaker Meeting. You might expect that I'm going to give you a Quaker understanding of God, but I can't do that. It's not possible. There's two reasons why I can't do it. First of all, Quakers don't have a creed. There's no set Quaker belief about God or anything else. It's one of the reasons why I stayed after I tried Quakers. And second, whatever God is, it can't be known at all by anybody, and certainly not by me. So I can only just give you some personal sort of gropings towards that understanding. We don't have a creed, but we do have something called advices and queries. This little book, which I like very much, it contains wise words, things to question oneself with. The first one I particularly like. It says something about God, and it goes like this. Take heed, dear friends, to the promptings of love and truth in your hearts. Trust them as the leadings of God, whose light shows us our darkness and brings us to new life. And to me, this idea of the promptings of love and truth means God. And I particularly like that because although I see some kind of creative spirit, for example, in the beauty of nature, I certainly do not believe in a God out there who acts independently in any way. There are two more pieces of wisdom, or texts if you like, which speak to me about God. One is a very well-known poem from St. Teresa of Avila, not a Quaker though. Perhaps she might have been if Quakers had been invented in her day. Christ has no body now but yours. No hands but yours, no feet but yours. Yours are the eyes through which is to reach out Christ's compassion to the world. Yours are the feet with which Christ is to go about doing good, and yours are the hands with which he is to bless us now. And the second one is a very well-known Quaker idea of that of God in everyone, which is also in Advices and Queries. I've got two stories for you which illustrate how I think of God. They're stories which are meaningful to me. They're not actually stories about something which happened to me. The first comes from a novel. It's by somebody I know in Swansea, somebody who was an attender at our meeting but is no longer. It's about a woman, and at this particular moment in the novel, the woman goes into an exhibition of paintings by Rembrandt, portraits. And she wants to be able to stand back and enjoy the way the painter has put life and light into all the faces of the different portraits. But unfortunately, it's a very popular exhibition. She's unable to do so. She has to jostle with people who are very ill-tempered and bad-mannered and won't let her view the pictures properly. And she suddenly has a moment where she sees that all these people, whether they're ill-tempered or not, they all could have been painted by Rembrandt. And she starts to look at the crowd rather than the exhibition, because they're all individuals, they all have light shining in the way that only an expert painter could reproduce. They have personality, individuality. They have that of God in them, I would say. So I try to look at people. I try to do it in my Quaker meeting sometimes, look around the room, try to see people as though they'd been painted by Rembrandt, as though they had that of God in them. My second story is one I read in a newspaper, and I've seen it since in an advertisement for a charity that works with refugees, so it chimes with the fact that I also do work with refugees. And it's about a girl from Sierra Leone. I think she was about 10 when the story starts. Her parents were killed in the conflict there. She was taken in by an aunt who treated her more as a servant or a slave than a relative. The aunt sent her to London at the age of 14, and again she was treated as a slave by the person who she lived with there. Eventually she escaped, and she found somebody in the street who apparently befriended her, but that person again treated her badly, took her to another city, raped her, forced her into prostitution. She escaped another time. I think she escaped a third time in the end, and on the third occasion the person showed her kindness, and then the story is given in her own words. Then she said, "Now I know there is a God. So if I say there's that of God in everyone, and I say there's no God out there acting independently, but only what we can do with love, God has no hands but ours, you might say to me, in the words of the advert for the Alpha course, is that it? But for me, it is all the same Spirit. It's the same Spirit, the one that lights up people's faces with personality, the one that can inspire us when we look round the people in a Quaker meeting. It's also a spirit of love which moves us to care for others and for the world. So if you say, is that it? I would say, isn't it enough? I hope it is.